Hi and welcome to Whisky Shared. In this episode I'll be reviewing Lagavulin Distillers Edition. Rather than just doing a straightforward review of the Lagavulin 16-year-old Distillers Edition, I thought I'd compare it to the standard Lagavulin 16-year-old. The Lagavulin 16 Distillers Edition is a release that they do every year. It's matured twice, so the Distillers Edition is finished in PX or Pedro Jimenez sherry casks, and the whiskey is aged 16 years. So this particular bottle I've got was distilled in 2001 and bottled in 2017. And obviously the standard Lagavulin 16-year-old is the same age. Lagavulin is a whiskey from the island of Islay, off the west coast of Scotland. And it's famous for its peaty character, along with a lot of the whiskies from that region. So I'll nose and taste these, and I'll compare and contrast and give you an idea of whether or not the Distillers Edition is worth going for. It is quite an expensive bottling. It's almost double the price retail of the normal 16-year-old. So it'll be a good test to see if it really is worth the difference in price. I've not had the Distillers Edition before. This will be my first time. So maybe I'll start with the 16 and then we'll be able to see if this is an upgrade on the 16 onto the whiskey. So both of these are bottled at 43%. Most likely got some colour added. Let's just compare. I would say they're pretty much the same colour-wise. There's not much in it if they are slightly different. So I'll nose the 16 first. Right, it's very sweet. It's quite an ashy smoke. A little bit of alcohol, that sort of vapour. Caramel. A little hint of yeast or marmite. There's like a charred wood. But the sweetness dominates on this one. That sort of vanilla caramel sweetness. So let's try it with the PX finished one. Right, that's instantly different. Noticeably different. The sweetness is more like sugars, like brown sugar or molasses. And the amount of smoke on the nose is minimal. It's there, but it's minimal. Similar sort of profile, but it's toned right down. Maybe it's a little bit more medicinal, but I keep picking up that sweetness which overwhelms everything. Obviously the sweetness is coming from the sherry. Oh, it's very, yeah, now I'm getting fruits like pears, apples, Yeah, sort of stewed fruits. Okay, so let's start with tasting the standard 16-year-old. So this one's not as sweet on the palate as it is on the nose. Now sort of dry wood turns into ashy bonfire. It's not very harsh on the palate. It's quite light, as you know, peaty or smoky whiskies go. But the finish is a good medium, maybe medium long. It's just sort of, it's lingering there. Let's go again. Yeah, it's got quite a thin mouthfeel. This time the sweetness is developing, but it's just a simple vanilla sweetness. But that ashiness, that sort of smoky ashiness is lingering. Yeah, it's definitely a medium long finish. A little bit of prickle now, but yeah, it's really thin on the palate. So nice, yeah. It's probably more of a, I'd say it's like an outdoor whiskey. It's the sort of thing that you could quite happily sit on a night out with, you know, on a terrace in the garden, especially sort of autumnal things like bonfire night. If you've got a fire pit, something like that, it's the sort of whiskey I can imagine drinking in that sort of situation. But I'll have some water and we'll move on to the next one. Okay, so let's see what this one's like. Right, totally different. Really, really sweet on the palate to start with. That sweetness continues as the smoke develops, but the smoke is really muted. I wouldn't even say it's the same type of peat smoke. It's a bit more woody, a bit more earthy, but not as ashy. I think the Pedro Jimenez really dominates in this, and it's not a bad thing. The finish is probably as long, but there's a like a peppery prickle which continues, rather than the sort of ashy smoke of the Lagavulin 16. But I'd say it's not as thin on the palate either. It's a little bit more texture. Not much, but a little bit. Let's give it another go. Yeah, it's very, very, very nice. It just doesn't have much peat smoke. I think if you're a Lagavulin fan, I think this might not be for you. It just, you know, Lagavulin's not the most smoky whiskey, but this takes away the smoke with what it gives in sweetness. That sherried sweetness is lovely. I would say this is probably my favourite out of the two, but if you can justify the price, I got this for a bargain. It was on sale, but if you can justify the price, or you can find if you can find this on sale, then my suggestion would be to go for the Distillers Edition. But if you are a big fan of the 16, this may not be up your street. So I'll sign off with my favourite of the two, my new favourite, the Distillers Edition, Stauncher. I hope you enjoyed this video. If you did, why not give it a like or a comment, and please consider subscribing for more videos like this.